In today's segment, we're going to talk about the club face and how it relates to your slice. If you're trying to fix a slice, we need to talk about the club face, which is the #1 influence of how the ball curves. Straight shot, slice to the right, hook to the left if you're a right-handed player. Okay. The impact position of the club face determines that curvature. If the club face is open at impact, we're going to put a side spin on the ball. Again, if you're a right-hander, it's going to the right. If it comes into the ball slightly closed, we'll have a left spin or draw. Okay. And sometimes we come back there square. All the stars align perfectly. So the reality of the club face during the swing is this. It's looking at the target. I'm using a little training aid to help you see the club face looking at the target in the address position for a momentary amount of time. During the swinging process, though, that club face is no longer looking at the target. So on the takeaway, you see the club face begin to open. So it's now looking towards you. Time we get to the top of the swing, it's nowhere near looking at the target. So it has rotated open with our body and the hinging of our hands. On the way back down and through, perfect world, it's equally rotating closed to get back to that neutral square position. It immediately closes after that. Okay, so here's your club face during a golf swing. It's just moving around the shaft like that. Okay, so it makes you appreciate when a straight shot is hit, doesn't it? Depending on your skill level, that either happens often or it doesn't. Okay, so let's look at what I think are two main factors other than the grip, which has a huge influence on the club face squaring or not. And in just very general terms, quickly, I would have to say the club has to be turned more to the right for a right-handed player and more to the left for a left-handed player to help you square up the club face at the bottom. I'm just giving you a general description there because I have to be more specific with the individual player. Okay. All right. So I still think there's two really important areas there to help us get the club face square, and that has to do with the takeaway. #1, where's the club face in the takeaway, and the point of evaluation will be right here when the shaft's parallel to the ground. Most of my slicers are going to have too much rotation. Club face is open. They can't make the correction on the way down. Okay, so when you're here, we want to feel that club face looking toe up, heel down, toe, heel, looking out like that. So check your takeaway and stop it right here, shaft parallel to ground, see where you're at. Don't over rotate the hands. Keep that club up like that. Okay. The other area of influence would be from the top of the swing. Rotation back to square. So most of my slicers have not learned the intuitive feeling of getting that club closing on the way to the ball. Their focus is more down at the ball. By then it's too late. Okay, remember on this highway going back, the club face is opening. So the perfect world, it has to equally be closing on that same path back to the ball to a neutral square position. Then it's going to immediately close again. Okay, so what I'll do with my players there is I'll just grab that club right here and I'll rotate the club face closed starting right now on the way down. That's our exercise right there. And almost 100% of the time when I get a player to feel that, a slicer, they would tell me that they've never felt that feeling in their golf swing in their entire life. And that's pretty much true because they're going to bring it in open. Okay, so it's all about exaggeration for this tip. Rotate closed. What are we going to use? We're going to use the hands. We're going to let the forearms rotate over each other, but we want to get the club face closed by the time we get down to the ball to fix the slice. So we always try to teach the components of a draw or hook to fix a slice. We'll see you next week. Thanks for coming.